everyone, it's your girl MJ checking in for my first week of ADF or alternate day fasting. So I'm here to report my weight loss, if any, and what to expect during your first week of ADF. So we're gonna just jump right in. Let's see what to expect in terms of fasting days. I do want to say, for all of those people who claim that it's so easy, it's not that hard, I just did not find those statements to be true for me. I found fasting days of 36 hours or longer to be incredibly challenging, incredibly just like a mind over matter type of challenge. As long as you resolve going into the fast days that you are going to do it and that you can do it and that you're not going to break, and despite of what may come up in terms of cravings and hunger, that you will do it and that you can do it, I think you're just going to be fine. However, you do have to start looking at it from an experimental point of view, in that there will come a time, whether it's a 2-hour window or a 4-hour window. In my case, it was actually a 4-hour window, where it's between hour 20 to 24 is when I seriously entertained the idea of breaking my fast. I found that within those 4 hours, my cravings were incredibly strong. I was really mentally challenged and weak to a point where I thought about all the ways I could break my fast. I thought about all the food I could possibly break my fast with, and I would just get really bratty in my head and be like, you know what? You could totally just break your fast. Who cares? Like, you're doing this and you could just not do it. And there would be like a little voice inside of my head that would be like, yeah, absolutely. You can just not do it. Who cares? Nobody cares. You're the same person, whether you're fat or skinny. Like, who cares? And I found those 4 hours to be just like so entertaining and annoying simultaneously, because it was weird, because I knew I would bump up against those moments, but I didn't realize how real it would seem to me. But once I sort of was like, no, you're not breaking. You can absolutely do this. You have signed up to do this. You can do this. If other people can do this, you can do this, MJ. And then it was in those times where my resolve for following through with my goal of fasting for 36 hours really came through. And I think if you go into it like really mentally strong, really mentally committed to doing it and being able to do it and challenging yourself and proving to yourself that you could do something as hard as not eating for 36 hours, then you're fine. I found that once the 24-hour period came, it was pretty smooth sailing from there. I was okay with being hungry. I was okay with having cravings. I knew that if I would just drink some water and chill out, I would totally be fine. I do want to say that in terms of the side effects of fasting, or what to expect while you're in the middle of fasting, I did find that I had just like a background headache throughout the day. Nothing super intense, nothing super like debilitating where you couldn't go through your day. But I did find that I just had a consistent headache, especially the first 3 days of fasting. I had a headache around starting with like 10 a.m. in the morning, and it just lasted throughout the day. I didn't take Tylenol or anything because I thought that's to be expected. I kind of just took my magnesium pill, my citrate powder or potassium, and then I mixed in some Himalayan sea salt. And that for the most part helped a little bit with the lethargy and the headache, but nothing really fully took it away. On my fasting days, I did find I was super low energy, and that after I was done with my workday at 3:30 or 4 p.m., there's nothing I wanted to do. Like, once I fixed dinner for my family, all I wanted to do was either lay down, read a book, or watch YouTube videos, or just absolutely do nothing. I just I think more than anything, it was the idea of like, I'm fasting for 36 hours. I'm not having food in my system and that I need to just chill. And that's what I did. I allowed myself to just like not worry about it and just chill. And my family kind of knew that's what I was doing. And I just told them, you know, my body's going through this change and I'm okay with surrendering to whatever my body's going to do, whatever my body wants for the next 2 or 3 weeks until my body gets used to knowing that we don't eat every other day. So for the most part, that was fairly okay and doable and totally nothing that will break you. But you do have to kind of surrender to the fact that that is exactly what's going to happen and be okay with not having a lot of energy and not wanting to do a lot of productive things while you're fasting. In terms of my feasting days, those were super fun. I just was really like allowed myself to eat whatever it was that I wanted. It was strange because I don't know if it was not eating for 36 hours that I woke up on my feasting or eating day or my feeding day, whatever you want to call it, just really craving something really crunchy. So I often broke my fast with potato chips or pita chips with hummus or tortilla chips with salsa or tortilla chips with queso dip. And then I wanted something cheesy and comforting. So typically like a cheese quesadilla or some sort of like bagel with smoked salmon and cream cheese and a bunch of veggies. Yeah, so the first 2-3 days of breaking my fast were the most really challenging days because one, I couldn't wait until it was time for me to eat. And when I was finally able to eat, I found that I couldn't eat as much as I thought I would be able to. And then the first 2 days was really not fun. In terms of my belly was just not having it. As soon as I got food in there, let's just say I had to run to the restroom immediately after. And that discomfort lasted for a couple of hours, which was totally not fun. But then I found that the third day of feasting and breaking my fast, I was okay. My stomach kind of settled and I didn't go crazy overboard with salty and fattening food. I kind of relaxed a little bit. I had some fruits. But yeah, for the most part, it was super okay. Sleep was another thing that I found super challenging. There were nights during my fasting. It came especially during my fasting days where I either slept very well and slept like a baby and dreamt really odd, weird dreams, or I would sleep right away because I would have a headache and I just could fall asleep from just being so tired. And then I would wake up at either 1 or midnight and couldn't go back to sleep. And so those were the nights where I was just like, if this happened every feasting or fasting days, I don't know if it's something I could handle. I found that during, you know, feeding days or eating days, I didn't have a problem sleeping. It was during the fasting days where I don't know if my stomach being empty and being hungry, not being able to sleep. But those were the days I found that my sleep was super challenging and it was kind of up and down. But nothing I couldn't overcome because, again, it wasn't like I just wasn't sleeping. And I think that would have been a different story. But it was either I had a really good night's rest or I just couldn't get past like a 3-4 hour sleep and a challenging to really get a good night's rest. So that was something I was like, okay, if this continues, I could totally just be okay with it and surrender to the fact that this is what's going to happen with me. Yeah, for the most part, again, doable, nothing that you couldn't overcome if you put your mind to it. It's weird, like knowing that you don't eat every other day. Like that was definitely something to get used to. But I think once you get used to it, I'm hoping that, you know, after a month of ADF that I would be okay with just not eating every other day and that my body would get used to the pattern. But yeah, in terms of weight loss, I ended the week at 4.4 pound loss. I started fasting at 175.5 0.4. So that was after a day of feasting. And then I found that I dropped my weight predominantly in my first 2 fasting days. And then thereafter, I was kind of up and down. But eventually, I did drop 4.4 pounds, which I thought was successful because I've never been able to do that without doing HCG or really going super low carb. And even then, I was lucky to drop like a pound. So in terms of that, super doable. So now I'm actually way into my second week of ADF, and so far so good. Today is actually an eating day for me. So I just came back from having late lunch and drinks with my family. We had Thai/Chinese food, and then after we went and got drinks at a Mexican restaurant where I had a couple of margaritas and some chips and salsa. But yeah, I've had just one meal. I broke my fast super late today. I think I got in about 40 hours of fasting. But yeah, and then today I'm going to go until about 7. So I'm going to have another small meal or snack until about 7. And then I'll start my 36 hours of fasting at 7 p.m. And then I won't eat again until Monday, 7 in the morning. But yeah, for the most part, I thought it was a successful week. I really enjoyed it. I love the feeling that I get during fasting. I found that my mind was super focused and alert, and I got so much work done. And skipping break and lunch, I just found that I could just like do it and focus and work and be okay. It wasn't until I got off work at like 3:30 that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of hungry, but nothing too distracting or anything. But yeah, is this something I will continue? I think so. I think I like it. I think I enjoy it. I love the feeling of knowing that every other day I just don't eat. And on those days, I could just do something else. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I'm here just checking in. I'm at 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't even know how that happened. All right, you guys. So yeah, I dropped 4.4 pounds. It was a very challenging week, but nothing that you couldn't overcome if you put your mind to it. I did enjoy my first week of ADF, and now I'm way into my second week of ADF. And I did weigh, I got on the scale, and so far I am down 5.8 pounds. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I like it. All right, you guys, have yourself a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will check back in with you probably next weekend. And bye. Namaste. Bye.